talking about the aerial demonstration team and how me and Missile are the only ones that really have one.
You really are, yeah. That would be an example of that. And let me tell you how rare, folks, that picture that you're seeing right now, which, okay, you can't see at the moment, sorry, but um, perhaps the only picture ever taken of four aircraft in simultaneous flight, and it looks like it's edited, and it's not.
Yeah, that was
That's
that was a real shot. That was like, oh my god.
that's a real shot. Those are some amazing planes. That's the Blackhawks. Um, And that's not like I think the early days of finding that out was well, that was just a bunch of like testing out. Well, you first tested out Exile like that, right?
Yeah,
Because Exile was on Project Mothership for a while there.
yeah, because it was the best gliding plane that I had. Other than maybe Chaos or Phase Two. So it was like, well, let's just put that. Let's try to make that the demonstration team. But then I think I had downsized the actual Blackhawks so small. I mean, they're probably smaller. The size are a little bit smaller than Apex here, which again, for size comparison, this was this is Sabretooth, but Cherokee was closer to this size. So having four of like sized birds like this, all stacked, kind of like SNA here, all stacked on and thrown, it actually produced a really cool shot, like Dave is showing you there, where it was just had all four little planes in flight, and Cherokee flying off, just releasing the bunch. It was pretty cool. And
Indeed,
those
indeed.
those and those Cherokee Blackhawks are actually just I mean they're Blackhawks and they're just they're not like any type of a design. They are their own design, but they're not like anything special. I think it was like three folds. That was it, like literally.
Oh, sure,
Because
downplay it now. Yeah,
yeah, right,
some of us haven't even been able to do it yet. And he's like, "Well, they're nothing special. They're just
yeah,
amazing."
right. Well, somehow they actually still work. So hey,
It was cool to see it, and I'm scrolling through the shots, so you guys are seeing some of these, and it's like, yeah, they're yeah, they look bigger in these pictures, but keep in mind that again, it took a mothership to launch them, and yeah, it's not like they're not. I don't know how long would you even say they were? Maybe 5 inches long,
yeah,
4 inches long.
because I think let's see, Apex here is Apex is just about 6 3/4. So I'd say yeah, they were closer to like 4 inches probably.
Okay,
I
so you
know
see,
I
they're
know they
four
were like
inches. Yeah, so we're talking they're smaller. I mean, we're trying to be like Sabretooth can handle that, and he calls the Cherokee as the mothership. The Project Mothership led to this. Um, but if you're going to launch a team, you really have to have uh, a small, it has be on as intrusive as possible. And we were because we had also discussed, if you remember this, we had also discussed whether or not it could even be done if you launch them by hand, and we were like, no, it'd probably be better. That's why we debated on it. We were like, okay, we probably need to launch it from a plane,
right.
and then to
Yeah,
make it
because just
launch, yeah, it's like again, the picture I'm showing there, you can see there's five planes in flight in that shot.
right.
Um, the one that you see to the bottom left there, that's the mothership, the orange one, which was the Sabretooth, the Cherokee, if you will. But uh, primary visible to the white of the stick in the center, lower center of the shot is two of the birds. But then to the extreme center left, there's a white spot. That's one of them breaking off there. And then right by the electrical tower, just to the left of it, which is top right or center right, there's another one banking off to the right. So there's
Yeah, that
five
was
planes from one launch in that shot, and that's the aerial demonstration team that KIA made. That's pretty awesome right there.
right.
Um, it's hard, dude. It's hard even when you gather a group of us together to get five planes in the air at one time, and one dude managed to do it that time.
Yeah. Here's another little size comparison of two saber tooths actually. So the one on the right here, or maybe to your left, the green one, is my normal size, because obviously even with SNA here, two similar sized birds. This is the normal size.
That's right.
So then coming up to the super heavy is what I call it Sabertooth SH super heavies for that particular role as Cherokee in the Blackhawks and the aerial demonstration team, because it needed to have that much width and length and just overall space. It's almost acting like a air what do I want to say, aircraft carrier. That's what I'm trying to go with. Like an aircraft carrier has so much room on it for all the planes to take off and stuff like that. That was my initial thought to the aerial demonstration team. I was like, okay, well, I need a bird that's big enough where I can put 3, 4, 5, 6 birds on it and see if it will launch. What SIL was just talking about. Like we tried to launch them 4 at a time like this, and it wasn't working because they would either just stick together and be one giant dart, or they would break off, but like only 2 would break off and 2 would stay together or whatever. So it really wasn't working. So I'm like, well, then we started tossing around the idea of a mothership or whatever to then have them take off on. And I'm like, well, the only one that I have that would work, that I know would work, and I know I have upsized it before, as Dave remembers, the big black one.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that damn thing that darkened up the sky.
The black one, and actually, I don't know where my other green super heavy is, because you remember the green one that was this size.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that thing was
Yeah,
even scarier than the other ones were.
right. Because that was also blackening the skies too. So I'm like, okay, well, I know that those 2 can go really super big, but I didn't need that for the aerial demonstration team. I needed something more like this size, where it was kind of not super super big, but not also normal size. So
But
anyway, that's a little
by the same token, you were making them out of poster board, so there was a thought.
right.
I remember the talk we said like you could probably fit a full regular size plane on those.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, you could probably take at least an Exile, Apex, Phase, Javelin, whatever. I mean, that was why Sabretooth really became either the bomber was a split role between the bomber and the cargo or airlift, because it was so good being straight level gliding bird that you could put anything on it and it would still fly to wherever you needed to go. There was no worries of it flipping over or just taking a straight nosedive because there's too much weight on it. There was enough wing, enough length. It all just really worked out. It was a really good design. That's what I'm really proud of, because that was as much as I love Exile and even Apex to a degree, because Apex I feel is very similar to Javelin. I mean,
Apex,
I think
yeah,
all of it.
Apex,
I
no,
think all. I
Apex,
think all
yeah.
of ours. Yeah, because I mean, a lot those Apex for sure, and the interceptor role. I mean, everyone that we've built that I've seen between Nasus, SIL, Missile, OEE. I mean, they're all small. They're like Sil would say, they're rocks with wings, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so it's just with Exile and Apex for me, I just kind of feel like I've always the redhead stepchild to Phase and to Javelin, because it's basically the same. It's basically the same bird as those 2. So when I made Sabretooth, it was like, wow, this is my design. This is like one of my first designs that was truly mine, and it worked. Again, back in the day when I was first starting out, I was like, I wanted to be like SIL. I wanted to have all these really cool big planes that did crazy things, and or would
Yeah.
fly super straight, and could go like a mile just on its own. So then when Sabretooth came around, I was like, this is awesome. It worked out great, and been a staple ever since, for sure.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's the shit. It's like a really cool plane for like all of the Oh man, SNA 52 is kind of like that as well. I mean, don't
Yeah,
shortchange it. That thing's uh, that's just about as much your own as the other ones are, or Sabretooth is.
for sure, for sure. Well, and then SNA will definitely be the next one to go supersized for sure.
He just wants to be. We've said it before, guys. We'll say it again. He wants to be the king of the biggins. He's got a
Yeah,
bunch
right.
of biggins, so
Well, like Dave was saying before in one other video, it's like, well, I'm the one that always makes the one that has like the entire size of the desk.
yeah,
I'm trying to get that way.
yeah. I mean, he might be the first of us to actually make a fighter that could like launch rockets instead of like my bombers launch rockets. His fighters will launch rockets, which will make his way scarier because his bombers will launch like multiple rockets. Where
Yeah,
I'm sitting here
uh,
carrying two, he's gonna carry like fuck you. I've got 20.
yeah, exactly. I'm
We
trying.
show people, yeah, we show people those shots of like the videos of us launching those like the planes with a rocket, but never like our cruise missile launch. One of our earliest videos, been the only time, but like that's happened more than often, and yeah, it's he's gonna bring it to the table, people. Y'all just better look out because like if you get in
Well,
a war with him, he could come out swinging.
yeah, right. I was like, I actually just kind of had a thought just now, but here's
Oh
what?
my god!
Yeah,
Oh my god!
yeah, you remember this one? Yeah, it was eight rocket launches, and she still, I mean, taped all the hell and charred all the hell, but yeah, she's been through some stuff.
That's history for you, people. That's history right there.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, look at how many strikes it took to keep her like up with that rocket and fly, because she did fly pretty damn good considering.
oh yeah,
She's covered in soot.
yeah, burned soot. It's got like 8,000 layers of tape on the front end here. This is probably quite literally a rock with wings because it's so heavy. I should weigh this. I should go upstairs tomorrow and weigh this. See how heavy it is.
I know it's got to be up there. I mean,
Yeah,
like definitely something that normally doesn't fly with that much weight. But
yeah,
again, like the key to why me? Well, okay, you didn't have to worry about it because you're a giant, like you're king of the giants. But me and like Missile and me and NASA's really got together and said like, okay, the only way we're going to get our heavyweight bombers and transports to work is to upsize the interceptors because they're rocks with wings and we need them to be that way. So we went that
right,
route and we had to go that route. And something like that is like, okay, the kicker to those is it's more than just a rock with wings. It's the fact that like if you wanted to put a paperclip, 20 paper clips, a penny, a nickel, a quarter, a dime, 20 cents in the nose, they can handle it and still do their jobs because it's like
right.
they just get them from point A to point B straight as fast as So,
Yeah, exactly.
ugh, it kind of aggravating really seeing that crap. 'Cause I know that plane's been like like it's been through hell. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't know. I honestly, I have to admit this to the people. I don't honestly remember if you guys bore witness to. I don't know if they saw the videos of those being launched. I think they did. I
I
want
don't
to
think
say that they did, but I'm not entirely sure that it
I,
happened.
yeah, I know I've seen yours that you've launched on yours,
Yeah,
but I don't know if we did a Apex's. I
like I
don't know.
said,
Something we have to research.
I think that we did. I think that we did, but I'm not positive. This is actually a shot, people. This is of one. That's that plane. That's that Apex. That rocket launched fueled airplane right there, about to go
Yeah,
launch. Well, you can't really see it. There, off to the left, there's a plane in flight, but I can't really get it in the shot. It's just there. It makes. Well, it's a cute little dot anyway. A plane was already flying at the time, so but I was trying to get D's holding it. It's lit. You can see the smoke. I think it's been through a couple launches already, judging by the soot that's on the nose. So it's going through its probably eighth, fourth, who knows what launch.
yeah.
But yeah, that plane, like you said, that plane has seen some shit. So um, definitely a star. Definitely one of those ones that we're talking about is a pretty good candidate for the Palace when it comes time.
Yep.
Because
Well, it's
you
just
look at it, you'll never forget it.
yeah, right. Well, it just brings back memories, just like 16. It's like it's one of those where it's like, you know, the story precedes it that where it's like the F-16. Oh, it's got this big story behind it. The AC-130. It's got this big story behind it. When I think of 16, and SIL thinks of 16, we remember that flight at Buena. You
Hell
know,
yeah.
Apex there, the soot covered. It's actually number 50. Obviously with the chart knows we know that one got rocket launched 8 different times.
That's right.
So it's just like, oh, it's so crazy.
That's
Or
right. That's right. Yeah.
big black saber tooth or the big green saber tooth. This is just such iconic flights. Which actually harkens back to Mark NASA's one over here on La Follette, which was that Mark or was that you?
Which
They
one?
had that.
We all had pretty good damn flights in La Follette that day.
No, the one that damn near hit the street.
Oh yeah, that was mine. Yeah, that was
That
mine
was
because
yours.
it drove
Okay.
Mark crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Because he went and ran after it like 300 feet.
I finally got, because for the longest time, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, I finally got one of those flights that I never got. Everybody has always thought the Phase was iconic, and I've got iconic planes, and they've been around for a long time, and they get all these long-ass flights, but ironically enough, everybody that I've flown with, I've either tutored, mentored, flown with, what have you, has all had the flights. I've never had the flight until that one. That was the only time I'd ever have one of those ones like Friars and Arrow had the one back in the day. I always like to talk about April 6th of '89, the one that like, oh my God, he launched it from across the street. Like he lived across the street from me down south, and he launched it from his side yard, and that plane took off and went across the street, across my neighbor's house. It went over his house into his backyard and vanished. That was like a 50 plus yard. That was a 100 yard flight, and we couldn't even get it back because we spent all the rest of the afternoon trying to find that plane and could not find it. We don't know where the hell it went. It was gone, and it was the most amazingest ass flight. And I've probably had similar ones, but I use stuff like that as yardsticks. And like to my mind, those are amazing. And I haven't had amazing. Y'all probably see mine and go, "It's amazing," and they probably are. And maybe I'm jaded because I expect that out of something like a Phase, because Phase has had some pretty damn good flights. I ain't gonna lie, but like something like that. NASA's had one when he was at Brookwood in High Point, North Carolina. He had one that like it took off and like it was in the street. I'm pretty sure it was his. Yeah, it was his. It took off and then it caught a thermal in the street and then it kept climbing. It climbed after it took off. Like it was gliding already, but it caught a thermal, the most rarest of events. Just I dare you people to go find a thermal that a paper airplane can catch. It could happen, but it's rare. He caught it, and it climbed. It was like it was already gliding above our heads. Then it went higher. It went across the street, over somebody's house, into a barren field back behind their backyard. That was good for 100 yards, and it was just like utterly ridiculously amazing. It was like I'd never seen that shit. But like I said, it always happens to somebody else. It never happens to me. But that one flight that KI is mentioning, that one there where it just that Venom, that was a Venom NG.
I was say it was a Venom, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was like it was. I consider it a one-off because it's really hard to duplicate those. But that plane is the Venom NG has turned out to be one of the most perfectly balanced planes. Any one of us, and I can say that without like I don't mean that bragging. I'm just saying because of our tech, that is the perfectly balanced plane any of us have ever made, and that's why it flew so well. Because it was like its center of gravity is like spot on, without too much in the nose, definitely enough in the wing that it could do something like that. Because it literally just like straight on flight, it did a little bit of a curve, it kept going and going and going, and yeah, it made it to the freaking road.
It caught some wind and it was gone.
It was gone. I mean,
I
like
mean,
it
it was
didn't
just
need
like
any help. It just is gone.
yeah, we're all sitting there with our jaws down, like, oh, what?
And it took me like 30 years in the Corps and like quite a few years with you guys before I finally got one of my own. Although I know I say that, but now I swear to God, I might be. Oh, you know what? Okay, I take it back. It's not my, it's my flight. The design of the plane, that one I've told you about, that NASA's flew at Brookwood, that was my design, but that wasn't my flight. He's the one that threw it. That's where I'm getting it wrong. Or right or something. Yeah, it's fucking A. I don't know. I'd have to ask him again on that because it's either me flying his plane or him flying my plane. Either way, I never considered it my flight because it wasn't my plane that I threw. That was the deal.
Yeah.
I'm pretty well sure it's actually him flying my plane. It might have even been a phase at the time, because he was astonished that Faze was getting some really good grout at that airfield. Man, that was the 308 that he gets the BA fin code for that I'm so jealous of at Brookwood. And yeah, Brookwood was a really good place for Phases to fly. Just ask him about that. Brookwood was really good. Phases like some areas better than others. So and you'll also find that out. Like some planes do fly. Whenever you guys get a chance to travel, it's why I always say like either build or take some. And the best bet is to take some. If you go somewhere, just take a box. Take a small box. You can stack them because God knows if you take them through like an airplane or something like that. In a car, it's easier. But you take them through the airport and people go like, "The hell is that?" They're gonna wonder. But like, just take them in a shoebox. Take a small amount, but let them go with you so they can experiment in different areas because they really do different things in different areas, and they might always be good. But that's why I say like take some, take them on TDY with you so you can get them out there and be like, well, that was pretty cool, or damn, that sucks. They're never coming back here. The Fire Arrow, like I always talk about that time in like 19, when the hell was it? 92, 91, 91. As old as that plane is. I came up here, like I was living in South Carolina at the time. We were at the 477th, and Pharaoh asked me to take like about a dozen of his birds up here. Not the whole variety, but a dozen of them, just because there was some in particular he wanted me to experiment with, and I flew them up here because we were just visiting. It was like during the summer, and I got a chance to launch his around, and like were totally different than they were down there. And I couldn't explain it. I tried to. I gave it like. I didn't have a camera to take good pictures of, but I did drawings so he could see exactly what I saw. And I did show him pictures of the layout because I had pictures of the house that they flew at, the wing that they flew at, which was the one in New Berlin. My uncle's in New Berlin, so it was the 151st Bomb Wing. By the way, that's right down the street from the one that you've been to, D, if you remember. Not very far away. They're part of the same base. I put them so close that I was like, you know what? They're just part of the same base. So,
that's the one that's down by Wendy's?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you've been there. You know it. Yeah. Yeah, it's right down by Wendy's. You guys have no idea what we're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, like, Wendy's? Why are we talking about fast food now?
Yeah, well, all of them were like, you mean the Wendy's down by the corner? And they're all like, they're talking about what down by their corner. Like, yes, I've been there.
Yeah, right.
No matter where you live, I've been there. No, it's like that base there, and I took pictures of that territory like way before, so I could show him and like, okay, your plane did this, so he knew exactly what it did. And he's like, and I could attest to it after seeing him throw it and me throw it, and then in our area in South Carolina, and then the area there, and he's like, yeah, they flew better up there. Yeah, they did, they really did. He sent me like his full lineup at the time was 7 aircraft, and he only sent me with 3. I only think I took Night Prowler, Air Raider, and Viking up there. That was a 3. I'm sorry, that was a 3. But I took like 4 examples of each, and like, dude, Viking and Air Raider just tore it up. They were amazing. They had some really good flights. Night Prowler is basically his interceptor, so it wasn't really that much different.
Again, rock with wings.
But it's always nice to have an interceptor along. It really is. Also, another point of fact in the IVPAC, and like if you're trying to bring interceptors at all times. just a footnote. You have to be ready at all times. There isn't a time I go out there where Javelin's usually not out there with me. Somebody needs to be showed up, you bring a Javelin. I mean, a phase is going to glide, but a Javelin's going to shoot their ass down. So that's exactly why. You got to bring somebody to shoot somebody ass down. But anyway, yeah, so it's like, yeah, take them where you go because you want to see what they can do, where they can do it. It's almost another tech. It really is.